Future Lisa, I am so sorry. This is gonna be a hot mess of a video. Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm the Vegan because I'm Viet and I'm vegan, and today we're making a not Vietnamese recipe. This has just been something that I've been sitting on for like a good year or so now. I whip it out every now and then, and a bunch of you guys have been asking me for the recipe and I just have neglected to put it up. So here it is, I'm just doing it. Alphaghetti / SpaghettiOs, depending on what kind of pasta you can find. I think the biggest barrier for me for posting this recipe was because I had like my mind set on making like alphaghetti for you guys, and I only found one box of alphabet pasta, and then we ate through that while I was experimenting, and I couldn't find another box. But I found SpaghettiOs, or circle pasta, or sciaffilata al bronzo. It's very fancy pasta, but it's a circle because we're making SpaghettiOs. But honestly, you can use any kind of pasta you want. You can honestly use those like little star pastas. The little ring tube things are like rings, but like smaller and tubey. You can add herbs if you want to, but the little specks of green don't really make it like SpaghettiOs or alphaghetti, because like traditional SpaghettiOs or alphaghetti has like just a red sauce. But you know, you can add a little herby for a little flavor. We're gonna turn on the element. What we're using as our base is a tomato sauce. You can use any kind of tomato sauce you want. You can use one that has herbs and flavors in it if you want, or you can use one that's plain. At the store, I could only find the one that had flavors in it. So, you know, I'm just gonna have to taste as we go to make sure that it doesn't like go overboard. But the one that I was using before that I've been testing with is just, excuse you. The one that I've been testing with is just like a plain tomato sauce. This is different from tomato puree and diced tomatoes. It's like already cooked down a little bit, so that kind of saves you time. I'm burning some peas that I dropped down here apparently, so we're just gonna ignore that. Just ignore the fire that you may be seeing. That's fine. So we're gonna add water. So that's 3 cups of water. The full recipe will be down below, and take this recipe as like a base for you if you want. Like you can add more. If you like it thicker, add a little bit less water. If you like it soupier, add more water. If you like more herbs, add those. If you want to add little bits of like gardein meatballs or whatever, you can do that too. This is just a very good base recipe because it's not a very nutritious recipe. It's tomato sauce and noodles. So, I mean, I highly recommend some sort of protein on the side. But there's protein in this, right? Per 1/5 a package, there are 13 grams of protein. I've just been like super burnt out of like everything lately, even though like I've taken a big break. So like I don't know why I'm so burnt out. So I've been trying to like re-energize myself by like changing up my life. So going to the gym a little bit more, trying to cook more, trying to clean the house more. We're still adjusting to like the new house since we like moved in March, so it was like 4 months ago, which is like a long time, but we were also planning a wedding, so things were a little wackadoo. So we're just trying to get some sort of routine going on, you know? So we're gonna measure out a cup of noodles. These are so fun! SpaghettiOs! Oh, that's a heckin' good time. So we're adding some SpaghettiOs to the pasta water. It's been a hot minute since I filmed the recipe video. What am I doing? How do I do this again? We're just cooking those noodles, you know? So the difference between like a tomato soup and SpaghettiOs is that like tomato soup doesn't necessarily have like a creamy component to it, whereas SpaghettiOs definitely has like a cheesy sort of flavor to it. Like it's like very slight, it's just very subtle. Just to, I assume it's just to cut down the acidity of the tomato sauce. We're gonna use some Bell soy cream. You can also just use soy milk and reduce the amount of water that you have and replace it with a bit more soy milk. Honestly, there's very little ways that you can mess up this recipe. Sub it around, sometimes it'll be a little bit too liquidy and then you just like cook it out a little bit, or it might be too thick, then just add more water. It's real easy. That's kind of like the way that I cook anyway. I know there's a lot of people out there who like, if they don't have specific things detailing what they're doing, they don't know how to cook. And like that's, you know, I used to be like that too. And then I got to the point where I was like, I don't like what they're telling me to do. This makes no sense. So I would just swap out a bunch of things and like I learned to like cook intuitively. So, you know, I highly encourage you to start doing the same, you know? Test it out, play around with it a little bit, you know, figure it out. And the only thing is sometimes you might mess up a little bit, but that's okay, just eat it, it's fine. Add a little hot sauce and everything's fine. So So yeah, like I said, you can use soy milk instead of soy cream, but this will be more potent and more like effective at like thickening it without adding too much liquid, you know what I'm saying? You used to be able to get this from like most grocery stores, but now I only really see it at Bulk Barn or Coven, which is like a vegan a vegan like grocery store shop thing, specialty store. I'll leave like the address for the place where I got this down below. Anyway, we're just stirring this pasta around and cooking it because, you know, whatever. But you know what? You just add the rest of the stuff to it because we're not straining this pasta. You could if you wanted to, but I like to think that the pasta water adds a little starchiness and a little thickness to this recipe. And we're just gonna add the tomato sauce. Just gonna scrapey. Oh my god, I've been watching so many soap videos and I've been watching a lot of royalty soaps, and now I just adopt all the sayings from the people that I watch. Basically, I have no original personality. My personality is just an amalgamation of everyone around me. I am no one, but I am also everyone. Okay, so we're gonna add some spices. We're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne because I think SpaghettiOs needs a little bit of spiciness. You know, it benefits from a little spicy action. And then because, you know, garlic, that garlic life though, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And I'm just waiting a little bit to add the milk or soy cream or whatever. We're just gonna let it chill and cook up a little bit until the noodles stop being hard. And you know, we'll be back. So I'm just gonna pause this video so it's not just minutes of me rambling like right now. And I'll be back in a second. So I decided to add some stuff off camera, but I basically added the soy cream and some mushroom broth powder because I'm not using vegetable broth in here. I decided to use mushroom broth powder instead. And that's pretty much it. It's SpaghettiOs, man. It's like, it's creamy. The texture is a little bit grainy, like it looks grainy. It's like smooth and creamy in your mouth, but for some reason the look is a little grainy. I don't know why. I think it's a combination of the granulated garlic and the soy cream, but it's still good. Let's give it a little tasty taste. Mmm. Okay, so I'm surprised. The one thing that I like about this pasta is that it stays kind of like al dente. Even when you cook it for a while. It might get like soggier as you eat it, but like that's just like adding more to the authentic flavor and texture of the SpaghettiOs. So you could add more herbs and spices to this if you wanted, but honestly, sometimes simplicity is all you need. We have to go to the gym now because we have an orientation at 3. Ooh, what gym has an orientation? So bizarre. We're going to that. I'm gonna eat some of this. Maybe I'll just eat all of this. Is this pre-gym food? It is now. Okay, well anyway, if you guys want the full recipe, I'll leave the link down below on my blog. Very simple, very delicious, and I hope you guys get a little taste of nostalgia when you eat this. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a delicious day. Bye-bye! Also, I'm so sorry about my really weird energy. I don't know what it is. I turned it off and it got louder. And now the fridge is making noises now. Gosh darn it. So the difference between like a spaghetti soup and SpaghettiOs, or like a tomato soup. What am I even saying? I am uncaffeinated and nonsensical. Cut this off, right? Oh God, everything's fine.